United Kingdom is all set to roll out the red carpet for Narendra Modi, who will be the first Indian Prime Minister to visit the UK since 2006. Narendra Modi has left for Britain and will land at the Heathrow airport at around 3:30 Indian Standard Time. Top on his agenda is boosting ties in trade and enhancing cooperation on terrorism. This will be Prime Minister Modi's third meeting with the counterpart David Cameron. Modi will hold wide-ranging talks with Cameron, and both sides are likely to sign a number of agreements. The centerpiece of Modi's visit will be a mass rally and fireworks display at the Wembley Stadium on Friday for an estimated 70,000 supporters. Prime Minister's packed schedule in London also includes a lunch with Queen Elizabeth at the Buckingham Palace and an address to the British Parliament.
Ten o'clock local time is when his special aircraft, the Air India One, is expected to land in London. First up is a meeting with some members of the Punjabi and Sikh community at his hotel, the St. James Court, which is actually located quite close to Buckingham Palace as well as 10 Downing Street. But it's around 1 o'clock in the afternoon when those crucial bilateral talks will begin with Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron. Trade, investment, as well as counter-terrorism cooperation, the global security situation, and also perhaps a civil nuclear cooperation is top of the agenda. But it's the address in Parliament by Mr. Narendra Modi that will be watched very, very closely across the political parties here in UK. Remember, there's always been great amounts of concern, especially when it comes to human rights issues. UK at the end of the day is a very, very liberal democracy. They will be listening very carefully to Narendra Modi's words. Also perhaps an attempt by the Indian Prime Minister to try and assuage all fears and make sure that investor sentiments remain intact as far as the brand India is concerned. But it's going to be a special evening for the Prime Minister, as he will be hosted by, of course, his British counterpart at his countryside residence, the Chequers, where Prime Minister Modi will also be spending the night.
Now, speaking exclusively to India today, Lord Meghnad Desai said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's top focus for the event or for this trip should be to seek investment.
Lord Meghnad Desai is here with us in London to talk about the Indian Prime Minister's first official bilateral visit to the UK. So what exactly, would you say that the United Kingdom Foreign Office has in mind right now as it prepares to welcome Mr. Modi?
Well, United Kingdom has always been very enthusiastic about increasing trade and investment with India. UK now regards itself as a much more of a trading nation, and they're very conscious that the emerging economies are where the markets are. So they want to sort of change their trade direction from developed countries to emerging economies.
How are they viewing the investment climate in India at the moment, given all the kind of political controversies, the Bihar Assembly election defeat, the bickerings which are ongoing in India? Does that impact the investor sentiment too?
I think temporarily, these are short-run things, When a government is in power, government gets criticized. But investment is a long-run proposition. So you basically look at the market prospects and things like that. Whichever government is in power, India is a good investment record. Now, Modi has raised India's profile very much.
The British companies get into a lot of these legal complications, especially on terms of the retrospective taxations. Also, the GST reforms haven't really moved through in India. So, how is that playing out really here?
I don't think GST will affect that much. It will be good when GST passed. But people have more or less factored in disappointment on the GST. GST is not going to move. It has not moved for 15 years. It won't move for another 10 years. Who cares? I think what's more important is that these people know that the long-run prospect, given India's demographic trends, given India's willingness to attract money, India is a good prospect. There's no doubt about that. And other countries, Germany, France, US, are also going to be competing to get in there.
Right.
So the UK has to get in there and work hard.
So one final question. There is also a lot of discussion in India right now that, about the question of the Kohinoor being raised. Is that something really which you think the Indian Prime Minister might just raise on this trip? Should he raise?
I think, it's all very pathetic. The Kohinoor belonged to Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and his son and heir, Dulip Singh Ji, gifted it to Queen Victoria. Nobody took it away. Nobody has robbed anybody for anything. And so I think the idea that Kohinoor belongs to India, whatever India is, it may, you say, it belonged to Ranjit Singh Ji and his descendants. And if you really want to have my word, Ranjit Singh's capital was in Lahore.
Right.
So if Kohinoor goes back to anybody, it goes back to Pakistan.
Okay, so that is something perhaps which will lead to another round of discussion and debate.
Indians should not think Kohinoor belongs to India necessarily. It belongs to Lahore, and in Lahore there is a Ranjit Singh Ji museum, and it'll go there.
So maybe it's best then to not to raise the issue at the moment, but here outside the famous London School of Economics with video journalist Sanjay Chaudhary. This is Smita Sharma for India Today.
With Prime Minister Narendra Modi all set to hold a rally in Wembley, Indian diaspora is excited about the Prime Minister's visit. Let's take a look at this report that has been sent by our correspondents.
Swami Narayan Temple here in London looks gorgeous on Deepavali. Also, those display of fireworks are now happening in the skies. If we could just show to you, it's Deepavali night here in London, and this is being celebrated by the Indian community that is pouring in by the hundreds here. As you can see, these long queues outside the temple. Not just Indians, but also people, of course, from London and other places as well here to take part in these celebrations. But this also coincides, of course, with Narendra Modi's upcoming visit. He will try to impress the crowds there at Wembley as well. Hi, will you be there at Wembley for Mr. Narendra Modi?
Yes, I got the ticket for Friday afternoon. I will be there.
You got the ticket?
Yeah.
Was it easy to get the ticket, or did you have to sort of fight for it?
I just registered whenever I heard about it. I just depended on the luck. It came. Yeah.
Why would you like to listen to him? What is it about Mr. Narendra Modi that you would want to go and hear?
Yeah, because he has been traveling to so many countries and he has been making so many good deals for India. So I just wanted to see, like, I have not been into a speech before. So I just wanted to see, like, what he actually talks and what's it all about. So I'm just curious about it.
He's going to listen in out of curiosity. Are you based in London?
Not based, but yeah, currently living here.
What would you like to say about the Indian Prime Minister's foreign policy? You know, do you think he will bring in energy with the India-UK relations?
I really think, yes, looking at his energy level, I am sure that, yeah, of course, he'll bring that energy. And I'm sure everybody who is living here, I mean, all Indians who are living here are looking forward to that meeting, because I'm sure that'll bring some sort of like good friendship and everything. So some benefits we all are looking forward to.
Right. You know, how do you look at the ongoings, the developments which are happening in India at the moment? Of course, there's that Bihar election. There are groups that are coming out in protest. How do you look at that? Do you think Mr. Modi is still as strong as he was when he actually won the Lok Sabha elections?
Well, it's too early to comment. He's been doing good progress, so we'll have to wait and watch what he's going to do for India. Well, it's you know, it's a huge history, so you cannot do anything in a day. Rome was not built in a day, right? So yeah, we'll just have to wait and watch.
So perhaps there is a lot of impatience too, and of course that comes from the fact that India is young, it's restless today. So from curiosity to community loyalty to, of course, sheer admiration for the Prime Minister, various reasons that we'll see these crowds of men and women at Wembley as well. For now, it's a happy Deepavali once again to all of you here outside the Swami Narayan Temple with video journalist Sanjay Chaudhary. This is Smita Sharma for India Today.
India Today, Smita Sharma spoke to some scholars outside the Harvard University. Let's listen in.
We are at one of the most established and most premier seats of education, not just in the United Kingdom, but globally. The King's College in London, established in 1829. And what is the buzz like really with the Narendra Modi visit? That's what we will try and discuss here with two scholars of foreign policy. Dr. Rudra Chaudhary, who's a senior lecturer at King's College here in the Department of War Studies. Also joining me here is Shashank Joshi, who's a senior research fellow, Royal United Services Institute, as well as a PhD candidate, Harvard. Good morning, and thanks for joining us this early here in London.
Thank you for coming down.
Absolutely my pleasure. So, to begin with, Dr. Chaudhary, just give me a sense of what really is the expectation from the Modi visit. It's a first bilateral visit in 9 years, though we have had Manmohan Singh attend a multilateral summit here some time back.
Well, I think quite interestingly, this visit means different things for both Cameron as well as for Modi. For Cameron, it's very clear. This visit is really about dazzling the Indian Prime Minister. He wants the kind of relationship that Modi has with other world leaders like Shinzo Abe, for instance, or the former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott, where there's a close working relationship. And I think the British establishment has figured out that this is a man that you deal with, not necessarily an institution that you deal with. Okay. So sort of breaking the ice with Modi is going to be key, which is why the Prime Minister from India is going to spend the night at Chequers, the British Prime Minister's country as their residence.
Well, the Chequers didn't happen for Xi Jinping.
Chequers did not happen for Xi Jinping. In fact, what's quite interesting, and here you can really see the British establishment, the Foreign Office, going out of its way. Modi's going to get a guard of honor in this country, which is a right, it's a privilege that's usually reserved for heads of state. This is a guest of state visit. He's going to have lunch with the Queen. The London Eye is going to be lit up in the Indian tricolour.
There's a very interesting point that Dr. Chaudhary made here, Shashank, that this is not just about the personality, it's not just about the institution anymore, it's about the personality. Is that a way to read it really, that do the British sort of Foreign Office now think that it's the persona of Narendra Modi who can perhaps give this relationship a push?
Yeah, I think they've seen very clearly how much emphasis Modi places on his foreign trips, as Rudra said. At the same time, I think there's a lot of catching up to do. Cameron's aware it's been 9 years since a purely bilateral visit. In that space, Cameron has gone to India 3 times, so he'll want to drive home. This isn't just about the Chequers or the optics of the visit. The UK is still the biggest investor in India. India is still investing increasing amounts in the UK, some very big prominent investments in that list, like Tata Steel and Jaguar Land Rover. And I think that he'll want to put that on a sound economic basis and announce some very dazzling figures at the end.
I think in terms of the Indian Prime Minister, this is clearly about investment for him. But let's face it, for him, this is about the diaspora. He may be in the United Kingdom, but it's his show, it's his people at Wembley. It's 70,000 people, and he's not going to be cautious. He's not going to be beaten down because of Bihar. He's going to come in, he's going to be aggressive, because this is what the diaspora want. Because they've been wanting this, and to be honest,
despite those political opponents attacking him left, right and centre back,
none of that's going to matter. In fact, if anything in the UK, it'll have zero political advantage in India, but in the UK it's going to be a flip. They're going to be that much more supportive of Modi. They're going to make sure that if it's the BJP, it's the Prime Minister. It's not LK Advani, it's not the dissidents. And let's be clear that this is the Gujarati Chief Minister that we wanted as Prime Minister.
Right.
So my own sense is that, a lot of the photo ops over here, a lot of the takeaways over here, for him personally, is going to be about this diaspora community.
Absolutely. So there you heard it from two of the brightest minds on foreign policy here in London. Men who are, of course, of Indian origin, but also understand the Indo-UK relationship very closely. So it is going to be a very, very interesting trip of the Indian Prime Minister to watch out for. Here at King's College in London with video journalist Sanjay Chaudhary, this is Smita Sharma for India Today.
Prime Minister Modi all set to address the Indian diaspora at Wembley. Preparations are on in full swing.
How excited are you?
Very excited. It's a massive opportunity to be performing in Wembley Stadium. So we're very excited to be performing on Friday.
Yeah, and in front of the Prime Minister.
Oh yes, yeah. It's very exciting to hear his speech and be part of this prestigious event for him, to welcome him into the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have been to the dress rehearsal and everything. How are you? How was it just doing the dress rehearsal? What are you performing first of all?
I'm also part of the Gutta group.
Yes.
But yeah, we just had our first tech rehearsal, and I think it was quite awe-inspiring because we were actually on the stage at Wembley Stadium. So to see all the seats in front of us and to think that in 2 days there's going to be 90,000 people watching us, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it is the dream, I think, of people to perform in the Wembley Stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's such an opportunity to perform in such a big venue, and for some of us that have only just started, or some of us that have been training for years and years. So it is really good.
We do Bharatanatyam. We have been learning at the Bharati Vidya Bhavan for now 15 years.
Yes.
So it's a great opportunity to show our art at the stadium that caters to so many people and in front of a great guest like Narendra Modi. And he's doing so much for the country and for his people, economically, politically, socially. So it's going to be a great opportunity, and we hope to make the best of it.
It makes such a big difference to our nation and to the joining of relationship between the UK and India.
How's that? In front of the Wembley Stadium. We are all ready here to welcome Prime Minister Modi here in the Wembley Stadium. This is the welcome pose, and It's going to be a very exciting 13th of November, when the whole stadium will be rocking, and it will be absolutely amazing. More than Rockstar, is going to be a blast completely here at the Wembley Stadium. Lavina Tandon for India Today from London.
Do keep watching India Today for all the latest from the Prime Minister's visit to London. You'll get all the comprehensive coverage right here. Let's stop for a short break. News and updates continue.
जहाँ तक यादें याद आती रहेगी।